How you doing, people? Welcome. This is Loud and Proud Orlando. My name is Luis Carlos Pineda. It's Monday, January 31st. The month is almost over. Well, it's about to be over. 8:34 at night. Thank you so much to everybody that's online right now. We have a pretty jam-packed show. There's a lot of things that have occurred, a lot of movement. People have probably seen my Twitter, have seen the Instagram of Dave and I. There's been a lot of movement. Facundo Torres is a reality now. He should be here in February. There's also the latest on Gaston Gonzalez. That's what we're going to start the show with. And then we're going to talk about something that it has to be said, right? There's a hashtag called Berhalter out. And honestly, after I read an MSNBC piece uh, of what he said post game, I think the U.S. men's national team, if they do not beat Honduras, they need to look for options, for sure. I mean, they need to look for options because there's no way a team with a quality like the United States right now, it's gonna lose to a really great Canadian team. I mean, I'm gonna say this: the Canadian team was an outstanding team, and they deserve to be in that spot wholeheartedly. But the U.S., it was just completely a lackluster performance, and we'll talk about that and more. And then obviously we have a lot of info brewing, OCB, Facundo Torres, and more. But just to kick things off, I want to please, if it's your first time here, subscribe to our channel. We are available on Twitter as LPL Podcast, Facebook, YouTube. Click on the notification bell for more notifications. And I finally was able to, and I want to thank Orlando City Communications. Everybody there is like the best. I was able to send my credentials, so I should be back in the media press box when the season starts. So I'm very excited. And also, I got the media emails again. So I'm very thankful and very happy. That's why I keep smiling for that. So Dave, how you doing, my man?
Doing great. Welcome everybody. First of all, Luis, we have to thank everybody that has been tweeting us,
Oh yeah.
reaching out on social media, thanking us for the quality of the show. We appreciate that from the bottom of our heart. To be honest with you, we just want to present a product that you guys will enjoy, not just hear ourselves talk. So thank you very much for the messages. Some of the people, it was surprising that they will go out of their way to thank us and give us praise. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that is watching live, to all of you that are watching later on during the week, and those that are listening on audio. So thank you very much for the praise. So let's start with that. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the U.S. team later, but Gaston Gonzalez. For you guys that follow Tiro de Esquina podcast, my Spanish language podcast, I had Nachito Sanchez, an accomplished journalist, radio, television, podcaster, uh, Unión de Santa Fe's reserves announcer. Had him on the podcast. We were talking about Gaston Gonzalez, pretty much a done deal. Great interview. You speak Spanish. You will get you will enjoy it. It's about an hour. Nachito told me that the front office of Unión de Santa Fe watched it. They liked it, so that's great that we're establishing bridges with this club. This is a club that wants to become a feeder club for MLS. We talked about the situation in Argentina. It's not the best. There's high inflation there right now. The Argentinian peso is taking a tumble. It's 200 Argentinian pesos for a dollar. 50% of the population find themselves under poverty. And I make air quotes because, poverty, according to us, it's maybe different to how they see themselves. He was telling me that in a lot of cases, people have to decide Do I buy food or do I pay for my ticket to go to the stadium? There's a lot of teams in Argentina, according to him, that are within 30 to 40 million dollars in debt, and we are going to be seeing a lot of sales in the coming up years because they see players um, Gaston Gonzalez. They see him as a cash cow. You know, he only has 30 professional games, by the way, impressing all of them. Was training with um, Messi this past summer with the national team, and this past weekend scored as well. So the kid is super talented. He provided me a link with an interview they did for their podcast, Football de Mesa, and well, the thing is the to conclude that the reason why he's not here right now is because the AFA, or Argentinian Federation of Football, has put a stop to all players from leaving the country. They want them to stay to finish the tournament. There's a lot of teams that have international competitions that can bring money in, keep them afloat, even though obviously we're purchasing this player. And so that's coming from the federation. So we had either we want the player and we go abide by their rules, or we just walk away and go somewhere else. So those are the choices that we had. For the last 2 years, the Argentinian Federation has avoided all relegations. So that means that right now, leagues that usually have 20 teams, like the first division, right now have 28. So they expect to see massive relegations after this tournament. The reason why they were not doing relegations was to keep teams to try to make money. And right now, if the tournament goes as planned, perfect, we're gonna be a champion. That means that Gaston is not gonna be here till late May. If the tournament goes against them, he'll be here in early May. So that's the information that we have about the player. And I gotta tell you that I'm very satisfied. I heard his interview. Seems like a smart kid, um, but at the same time, he's gonna have to encounter the same problem with all the players. First time away from home, bigger country, different language, etc., etc. So we expect a little bit of a culture shock. But as a professional, this kid has what it takes to be a professional.
If he lands into Orlando City, I mean, I know for a fact the club is well equipped to help him out with the language. A lot of
Absolutely.
the players, a lot of the players speak Portuguese and Spanish. There, it's a very similar language. I think he'll fit in right in. Um, he's a right wing, right winger. He scored. I mean, I know for a fact he's been in the radar for many teams in South America, but the problem is, the money is here. I know that's one thing that the MLS has compared to other leagues in South America, because there's just such a few leagues that are making money there now. For example, Brazil, some of the markets. The Argentinian market, unfortunately, it's going down quickly, and seeing some young phenoms like, for example, Thiago Almada just signed with Atlanta United. That's one of the reasons why Ezequiel Barco has been loaned. It's because of that. They're seeing the MLS as a, oh well, I'm gonna come here. I know this is a league that I can definitely be one. Definitely, I'm gonna be a starter. Definitely, there's gonna be easy assimilation because there's so many Latinos there. I can maybe even learn the language and actually assimilate. Because if their goal, and this is what I tell a lot of the players too, also from Peru that I talk to, if you want to assimilate in Europe, you need to learn English. I mean, and the reason why is because it's a universal language, or French. I mean, or at least speak a language that it's known in different parts of the world, because that's gonna open you. It's gonna make your assimilation process in any league very fast. There are players that just don't adapt. I'll give you an example. Cristian Cueva from Peruvian national team. He played in Santos and in Sao Paulo for a couple of seasons. Some good years, some bad years, but nonetheless, he got sold to this team from Russia called Krasnodar, which is where Mauricio Pereira came from. He would not adapt. He would not adapt. He wanted to come back. He told his agent, "I don't want to be here. It's too cold. I don't understand the coach. I don't understand my teammates." There was no administrative backbone like the MLS teams have. For example, the MLS teams have a structural backbone right behind the scenes that are able to help the player assimilate faster. And I think that's one of the reasons that the league is growing in such rapid manner, because these players that come from Argentina, and they come from smaller clubs too, they adapt quite fast to the culture and everything. So I commend Orlando for doing that. I know that he's not coming till late, but I mean, he's been in the radar for some top teams in South America, and but the money, again, the money is here, and he's young, and he has a family, and he wants to provide, and it's just understandable. But obviously, for us, is great because we have a great right winger. I mean, we have a starter right winger, in my opinion. 7 goals, 7 assists in all competitions for Unión de Santa Fe, playing, scoring over 10 goals, under 20. I mean, this guy it's at the level, I think, to get there here, right?
Mhm.
Uh, what are your thoughts regarding? I mean, how will he fit in the team? You think?
Yeah, well, like you said, our team is gonna give him the tools to assimilate. There's already two Argentinian assistants. There's another Argentinian player here. There's an Argentinian community in Orlando. People need to remember that our facilities are in Buenaventura, over there in Kissimmee. So the community around is a Spanish-speaking community, regardless. So it's not like this kid is being dropped in the middle of Kansas City or anything like that. So he's gonna do very well. One of the things that Nachito told me was that in their academy, the players learn English and Italian.
There you
Uh,
go.
Also, that is it's a sporting club, meaning that they have a basketball team, they have a fencing team, swimming, all sorts of different sports. Just like Peñarol is an institution, what in Latin America are called an institution. So they he comes from a winning culture. Santa Fe is the capital of Santa Fe province. This is where it's the hotbed, the breadbasket of footballers in Argentina, and this is where Messi's from. And this kid is just a product of their environment. Nachito was telling me, hey, when we're born, the first thing that they give us as a gift is a ball in the colors of our team. And I say our team because you have no choice. You're gonna follow the team that your dad likes. And if there's no money for a ball, they just get a bunch of socks and make a sphere that you need to kick around. And we learn to kick before we can walk. So this guy comes from a culture of winning, already in the radar of a national team that really has nothing to envy anybody. And
Right.
he's our player. That's the thing that we need to be excited about, instead of going after bench warmers in other MLS teams or players way past their prime. We're getting a 20-year-old ready to jump to the big time.
Let's read some comments here from the chat here. It says, Thomas Dupree, good evening. What's up, my friend? Jim D, I am in. Got stuck at the hospital late. Let's go.
All right.
What's up, my friend? Thank you so much. Lee Wright, first time watching. Let's effing go. That's great. Thank you. And we're about 20 people online right now. Thank you so much for your
Yeah,
support.
appreciate that.
Drop us a like if you're on YouTube, because the more likes we get, the algorithm for YouTube will recommend our show amongst other ones that are online right now. So the more we get likes, and if you're on Facebook, the way it works is you share it to your Facebook, share it to a group. I know there's some groups that delete some posts. They see journalists, they say, Fuchila, hi, I don't want you. No? But I'm here to inform. We're here to inform. We're here to talk to everybody. We'll have you guys online. Maybe I'll send the link if you guys want to get on the show. It is your show as well. Orlando Gugi Vega, it says, in Facundo we trust. Yeah, I think he's going to
Oh
be
yeah,
the
he's gonna be
signing.
here Wednesday.
Yeah, he will be here Wednesday. We'll talk about him in just a second. Jim D, I'm here for some left back news. Got some? I mean, honestly, the Orlando City defense, and I don't know if David's going to agree with me, it's been spot on the past 2 seasons. I mean,
Yeah,
that's one
they
of the
were weak in
reasons.
that area.
I think it's been one of the reasons why we've actually made the playoffs twice. Um, I trust in Kyle Smith. I have trust in Kyle Smith. Honestly, I would like to, and this is no hurt feelings or anything. I think Moutinho is a left back that is perfect if you want to, if you're at home, right? If you're at home, and this is what the Peruvian national team does, and I put it in comparison because it's they're very similar players. So in Peru, you have a right back called Advincula, and he goes to the attack. Oh, and he's great with crosses and lobs and associating with the wing, and he's great. And also Marcos Lopez, he plays in the Quakes, right? I see Moutinho that way because he has the speed, he has the footwork,
Mhm.
he has the positioning, he has the long crosses, he can assist. Kyle Smith, I see more of a 1v1. You're not going to get through, my friend, defender, and I'll do whatever it takes to stop you. Even though my crosses may not be as great, even though he does have great crosses and he's had great assists and he's even scored great goals. But I'm just saying, I see more Kyle playing away. This is
Mhm.
just my opinion. Now, this is not Orlando City. This is my opinion. I see Kyle Smith playing more away games, and I see Joao Moutinho, if healthy, playing more starting um, on Orlando City
No,
games
I
at
agree
home at
with you.
Explorer Stadium. I don't know. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Rotation needs to be key, and I want everybody that is listening to remember the days when we had 11 good players and a bench that the drop in talent was abysmal, and we rode those 11 horses to the ground. And for everybody out there, last year the reason why Kyle Smith stopped being a starter is because literally Kyle Smith was beyond the point of exhaustion. He physically he would have gone hurt, and his season would have been over. He was completely tired. That's why Emmanuel Mas was such a stopgap signing. The Manuel Mas, come to find out, it wasn't really a long term plan. That's why we just didn't resign him. I would like to see that. I would like to see a lot of players going on the road and other players go home, because as we have seen, and we are going to find out this year, first year that we're back to full season, we're going to have Leagues Cup, we're going to have Open Cup, and I believe that at least Open Cup is a winnable tournament, and we've been there so close before with less
Right.
talent. So we definitely need to have fresh legs there, fresh legs in the league. If you look at overseas, especially in the English league, in League Two where my team plays, Stevenage, 44 games plus three other tournaments, and their team is huge. Why? Because you have to have the fresh legs. Not everybody can play over and over and over because it would be impossible. So definitely we need that depth. There was
Sure.
a rumor about somebody out of Mexico. Somebody sent it to me today.
Yeah,
I
but he was a
retweeted it.
midfielder, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then come to find out that it
Yeah.
was not
Yeah.
true. So
So,
the European window has closed today. The Argentinian and Brazilian is still open to the late February. So I'm hopeful that just like Cara came out of nowhere, that the boys at the front office have some surprises for us.
and the good thing, and again, I know, like Cleon says, we don't really need a left back unless one gets a long term injury. Moutinho Smith is more than fine. Personally, I believe that we could look at somebody from the reserves or somebody from OCB. I think, I mean, there's a lot of talent. That's one thing that Orlando City has and other teams have. We have a great academy. And I mean, they've invested so much money and time, and these kids are so committed to just the culture of Orlando City. You
Hmm.
can definitely see it on their social media. They follow me, and they are very excited every time I post, even anything from the Pride, from anybody. Like they like it, and they're so committed to the club, and you haven't seen that before, believe it or not. So I think that we should maybe look into that, or if there is just a prize that is just kind of like a Manuel Mas type of player, that it's going to, you buy him for something that is affordable. You're not going to break the bank, and it's not going to cost us a DP slot. And by all means, right? But otherwise, I honestly, I agree there with Cleon. Thomas Dupree, could anyone from OCB be ready to come in and play minutes as a fullback next season? Well, this is the thing, so there was this post from Kembal Guadalupe, right? He's a center back from champion. He's a champ, youth
Hmm.
academy, and unfortunately, he made a flyer saying that he signed professionally, and then other colleagues also took what he said and put it on their social media. So me, I pretty much copy him. I took a screenshot of his Instagram, and
Right.
and I put it there, and I did a really nice graphic, and then I put it on Twitter. And Lord and behold, he took it down, and because I'm thinking he's probably going to go to OCB. Like I said, I don't know the details. He just took it down for a reason. He maybe, and that's okay, because players do that. Sometimes players get too excited, and I
Right.
understand his excitement, because it is a big deal for a player like him. I mean, when he started, if you see pictures when he started, he was like this thin,
Yeah, just a little
and
bit.
here he's, I mean, this tells you the level of people that work in the club. He's a different type of player now. He's sparring with the national team, Peruvian national team now.
Hmm.
He's 1v1 with those guys sparring, and not only that, there's only three or four kids from the MLS is next, that we're gonna see in the MLS is next. Diego Toya from the Quakes. We're gonna see a kid also from Atlanta United that's gonna be there, and these are all kids that are formed and they grew up in the United States, and from the academies, and they're going to probably close to playing a national team in the next 3 years for the 2026 World Cup. So I think that's something that the MLS needs to be proud of, because they're developing players that are definitely going to get there. Are definitely going to get there. So um, I want to say hello to Felix Hicano. It says, hello from Raleigh, North Carolina. Can't wait for the season. You guys think Pato will start? And what's the status of Ayotun? Okay.
Mm.
What,
Well,
what do you think about Pato? And I'll say then the thing about
sure.
Yotun.
Pato, um, again, we discussed this the past two shows. He's an affordable gamble. Let's just be honest with ourselves. We gambled last year, did not pay it off. I think I know that he's in great physical condition. He has recovered from his injuries. He's every time the team posts anything, he's there, and he's in full contact, full speed. So it's gonna be an interesting proposition. We'll probably see him start on game day if none of the new additions beat him to that position. You have to go with your strong hand. Orlando City doesn't have a good record on opening day. I want to remind everybody we only have won one game, 2017. Everything else has been draws, most of them with 10 men. And the last two opening days have been nil-nil results, which, to me, a nil-nil is like, you know, taking a cold shower in the morning. I mean, it's just not pleasant. It's not good football. So I expect Pato to be a role player. I think the guy is coming without any allusions that hey, I'm a star or anything like that. So I would like to see him uh, like again, we have said that the game against Nashville in Orlando gave us a glimpse of what he can do. If the guy gets hot, by all means. But if the guy is hot and cold, we have other tools that we can use. And because at the end of the day, I'd rather see a mediocre Pato on the field than an injured one out of it.
Yeah, and to address the thing about you too, and thank you to the 18 people watching live right now. If you're on Facebook, share. If you're on YouTube, you drop us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Um, when it comes to Yotun, is very clear. I mean, he's the only player in the national team, Peruvian national team, without a club. Well, now there's two. One is being frozen. Well, pretty much they're benching him and they're putting him in the reserves, which is Gianluca Lapadula. He's the striker, the number 9 of the national team, Peruvian national team, and he's had an issue with the club owner and the coach, and they're just putting him away, and they don't want to sell him anywhere. He had a offer from Benicia, which is where Nani's playing right now,
Mhm.
and they declined it. It's unfortunate. And now Yotun is the other player that it's underperforming right now. The last game that they play against Colombia, he underperformed terribly, and it's because he's not with a club. He's only training with his peers, so it's not the same level of competition. And so, unfortunately, my opinion, honestly, is I think the deadline is done, unless he signs for something for an amount of money that he has high expectations salary wise, in my opinion, from what he was earning in Mexico. So he wants something similar for him and his family. But he has to understand he's been without a club already for a couple of months. Time is ticking, or Peru is this close to clinching World Cup. Probably directly, or if they beat Ecuador, they pretty much are halfway in Qatar, in Qatar, sorry. And but he needs to see what's best. So he's gonna try to. He's gonna have to find a team that is gonna offer him a salary that's probably not what he expects, but it's something that it's gonna at least provide for his family and not you know undervalue him. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mhm.
think the MLS market will be perfect for him. I mean, this is where he thrived the most, in my opinion. Here and in Sweden, I think it was the two markets he thrived the most.
Right.
There were talks about he had an offer from the same people that wanted Galese, Al Nasser, and that's a rumor. Then also there was somebody that mistakenly misread my tweet. When I put my tweet and I put allocation list, it doesn't mean he's going to be in the draft, people. And this goes to the Peruvian media. It doesn't go to the American media. It goes to the Peruvian media, because what they did is they grabbed my tweet. They did not give me any credit. Thank you so much. And then they went, they copy and paste, they Google Translate my tweet, and then they put the MLS draft. And then I had Peruvian journalists busting my phone saying, hey Pineda, I'm in hour 2 of the draft, and Yotun is not coming out. And I'm like, bro, Yotun is not gonna come out. He's in the allocation list. But. So, you know, in all honesty, that's the status with Yotun right now. There's no team, there's no offers. So I would ask any team, honestly. He's a free agent. I mean, I will say, if Orlando City is watching, honestly, have a discussion with him and
Yeah,
see
make
what
an
he
offer.
and make an offer, because I mean, he loved this city. I know for a fact he loved this city. He loved the fans. He loved living here. One of his kids was born here.
Yeah, his son.
He's from Orlando, and so you have to understand. He needs to understand too. He cannot think and say, "Hey, I'm gonna get paid Justin Cruz Azul." The time has take too long, in my opinion. This is just my personal opinion. This is not like anyone's opinion. It's my opinion. So I'm just saying, I love Yotun. I think he's a great player. I think he will give Orlando. He will be a great addition to Orlando City because he could play 3 positions. He could play number 10. He could play a six, and he could play a left back. So, I mean, who doesn't want that type of player, right? That versatility of a player, right? I'm just saying, lower your expectations a little bit because I think the train has already passed, and you just gotta run and catch up, man. Because if not, Peru's gonna go to the World Cup, and you're gonna have no
Yep.
club at all. So that's just my observation. Let's thank you so much for to Felix for bringing that. Let's we'll read the rest of the comments. Keep leaving your comments. We're probably going to send the link so people could join as well if they want to join via audio. If they want to join with their camera on, that's fine. The second topic, and I mean, I think we were going to talk about several topics in one, but Orlando City latest, Araujo, Facundo, and Preseason games, right? So let's talk
Correct.
about first Facundo Torres, right? As that's the picture that
Yes, that
uh,
that picture was sent to us by his dad, Jorge. That's an exclusive because I was last week accused that all we do is just repeat things out on the media. Well, there it is. You if you don't listen to our podcast, you don't watch our podcast, and all you do is just run your mouth on Twitter. Well, there you
no,
go.
that's fine, dude. I mean,
Yeah, but
they'll they'll
he
they'll they'll come through.
yeah,
It's
they'll
some
come.
someday.
So here, friends,
No big deal.
you are seeing a picture sent. This is from the Uruguayan First Division. Facundo Torres has been named
The
the
MVP.
Uruguayan Player of the Year.
Wow,
That's for all leagues. Yeah, congratulations.
tough league to
So
play, man. I'm telling you.
yeah, I can't wait for this kid to be here. He'll be here on Wednesday. His family will be joining him on the 17th due to visa processing issues, and they expect to be here while he, you know, gets his start as a professional in Orlando. So I think that's pretty cool that his family's so committed to, like put their life on hold to make sure he's okay. That's probably what my wife would do. My wife, it's always on top of our kids' things, so that's pretty neat. Um, Cesar Araujo,
We have a video actually
oh,
about
okay,
Cesar
great. Let's go
Araujo.
ahead and watch
Let's
that.
let's let's watch the video. Thank you to Jackie Maynard, everybody, Orlando City Communications, Hannah, Diogo, everybody. That's fantastic. We have a video. Thank you to Orlando City Communications for the footage. I will put it on right now so people could watch right here and play. I mean, look at that. So this he's been training. This is first
Correct.
training,
Yeah, the guy's a classic number six,
right? Look at that.
and he was in Mexico, sort of vacation, and also waiting for his immigration paperwork to clear. His family, and I believe girlfriend, fiance will be joining him later, according to his Instagram. So again, another young guy, first time away from home. Um, in another country, different language and everything. But as you can hear, you can hear Spanish, you can hear the players speaking Spanish. So I expect a smooth transition for him.
No, he's a stud, man. That kid. I mean, the way I mean, you could hear like how his foot he hits the ball so hard. That's what I'm saying. I've seen his footage in Uruguay. I mean,
Mhm.
Uruguay is a very physical league. Like when I'm telling you physical league, like they don't get into blows or anything, but they're a physical league. They don't play around,
Right.
and he's definitely. And again, thank you to Orlando City Communications for the footage. Um, I think this kid's gonna be a stud. I mean, I think our mid. I mean, all the turnovers we had. I think I mentioned in a different show as well. All the turnovers we had the past two seasons, there was a pain. Especially thank you, dropping the ball to Hani Mukhtar. I think
Hmm.
we pay that price heavily, right?
Absolutely.
With Hani Mukhtar, and now we have a guy that is gonna tell Hani Mukhtar, "Hey, man, you cannot pass through here." And then if he needs help, then there's Junior Urso, there's Sebas Mendez, there's Andres
Absolutely.
Perea. So look at that depth, right? So I think recouping the ball is going to be key.
So
And I
for
think Orlando City definitely, I think Pareja took a look into that and said, hey, yeah, no, no, no. Bring me this kid. And I think
absolutely.
that's a great move.
Yes.
Uh,
So Cesar Cachete Araujo. That's Cachete. That's his nickname. From Montevideo Wanderers, very familiar with Facundo Torres. Obviously, they play against each other all the way from the academy level to the reserves to the first division. So they know each other very well. I think they will complement each other as well. And I'm super excited about these two guys on top of um, Gaston Gonzalez, because this is young talent that is already impressing and is coming from great countries. Antonio Carlos, to move on to another topic, has not been in Orlando. He remains in Brazil. The information that I have is that he is working on his green card, and that's the reason why he has to remain there. The process is done through the U.S. Embassy in Brasilia. That's the capital of Brazil, for those that don't know. And so that's the reason why he's not here. We should be expecting some green cards at this point. We have a lot of players that have been with us that have proven their worth, and if we in the past we did that for Josue Colman. We did that for Robinho, where we got them green cards and then we shipped them that same year back to their home countries, and they're expensive, by the way, in the last 10 years. So I expect Orlando City to do right by some of the guys. In a way, this is sort of like a great reward for the player, because this actually goes beyond football, because once you have a green card, that's a pathway to citizenship if
Correct.
you want to.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I mean, his whole family can essentially come here. He can claim
Hmm.
his parents and can come here, and it's just, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what the MLS can honestly, not only is the cash and the salaries that you have here and the structure, which I think a lot of clubs in South America are down the hole because a lot of clubs don't follow any structure. Believe it or not, trust me, the Peruvian league is a freaking mess.
Absolutely.
It's a market to tap in because there's a lot of raw talent, and I'm saying that to everybody in the scouting team in Orlando City. There's a lot of raw talent, but I mean, the teams there are a mess. Some of them, at least the ones from that are not in Lima. So
Hmm.
I'm just saying, and unfortunately, it's because they don't follow structure. Here, there's a lot of a structure, right? And I think that's why you see these clubs, a lot of the MLS clubs thrive.
Right.
But I guess we're gonna talk about the Orlando City preseason games. I guess you
Yes.
had some info regarding that, Jake.
Absolutely. In the first, there's two events that are coming up. They're free of charge. So I really encourage everybody to attend. The first one is this is going to be Thursday, February 10th at 7 p.m. This is Pints with Pareja.
Oof.
Obviously, it's going to be a meeting with the head honcho, El Profe Pareja, is going to be talking to the fans. I'm really excited about this one because this has not been done for a very long time, and I really want to hear from him. Hopefully, there will be Q&As of how we plan to the formation for the year, what's the expectations and the goals and the scouting and all that good stuff. Friday, February 11th. Looking forward to this one, 7 p.m. This is Orlando City versus Colorado Rapids. It's going to be open to the public. If you're season ticket holders, you should have 4 free tickets per account on your email today. So go check it out. If you're not a season ticket holder or you need more tickets, they're $10 a piece. It's general admission, so you pretty much can see it anywhere you want. Aside from that, we have Thursday, February 3rd. We have a preseason match against Minnesota United with Inching. Um, the Saturday, February 5th, against Dallas. Wednesday, February 16th,
Tom
against.
Dwyer is gonna come.
Oh, you think so? We'll see. February 16th. Oh, that's right. Well, he got
That's
what?
right. That's
Yeah, he
right.
got
Tom Dwyer is gonna.
what?
Hopefully, he doesn't do flips. I
No, no,
highly
no.
doubt.
He's out. He doesn't have a team.
I, ho- I
Dallas
hope.
just bought him out.
I hope the drought stays.
February 16th, against the real Miami FC of the USL.
Oh, the real Miami
Yeah,
FC.
I gotta point that out. I got the real
Yeah.
Miami FC. Then we have Friday, February 18th. This is back to back. Saturday, Sunday we have actually scrimmage back to back. The 18th we have FCC Cincinnati, and the Saturday the 19th we have the hated Tampa Bay Rowdies.
The
A match
Rowdies.
a match that people were begging this club to open up, but it turns out it's gonna be more like a scrimmage. These last two games, so it's not your traditional 90 minutes. It's actually they're probably gonna do three blocks of 60, and they're gonna play their academy. They're gonna play a bunch of different things. So trust me, we haven't missed anything. If the football gods love us, this year we'll draw Tampa Bay Rowdies in Open Cup, and this fan base can finally get what they want, which is to
So
rekindle this rivalry.
so they're USL runner-ups, right? They're US.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean that was an epic fail, believe it or not, because I mean Tampa that year would have won everything. They won
I
the
watched the
Super
game. I know.
Bowl, they won the Stanley Cup. They got into I think the World Series too, and I think they lost too. But honestly, that would have been like you know crazy for them. But unfortunately, for them they choked, right? It's gonna be a great game, right? The animosity. I remember the USL days.
Oh,
The animosity was deep, was deep.
yeah. So
I don't see them getting a market for soccer. I don't think they're interested in a market for soccer.
they
And
made the attempt to go to MLS back when Nashville and Miami got themselves in. Unfortunately, they were not chosen as a city. I think MLS. I don't think MLS is done with Tampa. They're a great market for sports. Uh, to have an MLS team in Tampa, I would say it will be
no,
glorious for a
no.
rivalry.
I
In
mean,
the
I honestly don't see him get an MLS team. I mean, honestly, I don't. I don't. I know for a fact because of work, I have to go to Tampa a lot, and I'm
Mhm.
telling you, it's all about the Lightning. They don't even watch soccer. Rowdy's games, there are like five people there. They sell tickets. Like, I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. But since you touched the subject of the preseason, let's do our starting 11, right? Let's
Sure.
see if we can maybe do the starting 11 with these new additions. Um, I don't know if you want me to start or you want to start.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, because I
So
actually
so
did not prepare.
so for me personally, I would like to see. Um, I don't know how I've seen Greenwist on the videos. I mean, I just got the communications emails back. So,
Hmm.
but what I saw just in a few snippets, mainly on Orlando City Twitter and on Facebook, I would like to see Greenwist starting. Just because he's had some cool saves in preseason, and I know Mason is number two,
Hmm.
but I would like to see Greenwist because I know if Mason's going to be number two, he's going to get the opportunity to play.
Right.
And Lord and behold, something may happen. We have Pedro and we have Greenwist and Mason. You don't really feel that much of a
There's
oh
no
crap,
competition there.
right? There's no competition, right? I would like to see. I mean, if you're telling me, when it comes to these positions, here,
I would
huh?
like to see, to be honest with you, since it's preseason. Obviously, Antonio Carlos is not here. I would like
Right,
to see,
Williams.
um, Williams
Sure.
there. And then the center backs, I would like to see Williams, and I would like to see Schlegel.
Yep. That's what I was gonna say right
You know,
there.
Schlegel is extremely underrated. The guy's a workhorse. Kyle Smith and I guess Juan, right?
Yeah, I will have Ruan here. I mean, you will put Mikey Holiday, but I think he needs to get his gear going. He needs to hit the field running more,
Hmm.
because he's running a lot and he's busting his ass in preseason, and I think he's gonna be a key factor for Orlando this year. I see him in top shape, and Antonio Carlos too. Like with the videos he's put on his social media, he's been training by himself in Brazil, so. He's gonna come on point. So I would like these four out back, and I think you agree as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You know, but maybe some people can say, "Oh, well, you know, Juan is a starter. Let's bring somebody else." But you know, I just at this point, I mean, we're gonna give everybody a chance. But
Right, well, I mean, it has to be a mix. I mean, you have to understand. I mean,
yeah,
these are preseason games. We want to win them, right?
no, absolutely.
I mean, of course. I mean, I know Colorado, for example. Colorado, to me, it was the sleeping beauty. I mean, nobody knew Colorado was going to make it that far in the playoffs,
Correct.
but I mean, they did, and they have a competitive team.
Absolutely, they do.
Even though it's a preseason game, they're not going to go to Orlando and just want to freaking lose.
No, that's great,
Um,
and especially in front of our fans. We gotta
right.
do best. If you're gonna put the number 6 right now, Araujo, of course, yes.
I will put Araujo because you need to see him in the hot seat, like right
Yes,
now.
yes,
You
yes.
need
We
to
paid
see
three
him in the
million
hot
dollars. We gotta
seat.
see what we got.
That's
Kick the
right. You need
tires.
to see him in the hot seat. I will put Pereira. I mean, this is what is it? This is a 4-1
We're probably
four.
gonna be playing a 4-3-2-1.
Yeah.
Um, now, this is critical. Luis Musi said that this year we're gonna be playing a particular style, and he mentioned that Nathan Dos Santos played that formation in college. If anybody knows what Marshall University played, then that's the answer. Um, so we will have to see.
I would like Pereira as a number 10. I want him as his classic position up top. Right here, who would you put there?
I will put there Nathan Dos Santos, to be honest with you.
Okay, Dos Santos.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean we drafted him. We have to see what the guy has.
that's right. That's right. Okay, so you see, this is a perfect balance of rookie and the captain of the team is going to be Mauricio Pereira, and then Araujo, right?
Hmm.
Then at wing, I mean here, I mean, will Facundo be there? Yes,
Facundo
right.
will be there, so you gotta put the
So
$4 million man.
personally, I will put Facundo Torres right there because you need to see him in action. I think even the administration, even the Wolves would like to see him play, and you
Hmm.
know, because he's the guy, right? And then right here on the right, I will honestly, and this is, you know, you guys can disagree, you guys can leave your comment. Personally, um, what I've seen, uh, I will put Alexandre Pato here.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, honestly, I mean, I'm doubting myself. No, no,
No,
because
no, no,
Pato,
no.
no, no,
I
no,
agree with
no,
you.
no, because Pato's playing center forward now, and yeah, I mean, if he plays the wing, he's gonna probably, if he plays the wing, he's gonna probably have more. He it's different to play the wing and playing the center forward. In center forward, you have less contact. Wing, you have
You know what?
more.
Put
I will put
Rivera there,
I will put Vanderwater
but he's left-footed.
because he's left footed, right? Oh,
But
he's played.
yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was saying. You can put Rivera, who has been played
no,
briefly.
I don't know, but I see Rivera more as the number 10, dude.
He's a 10 and a 7 with Puerto Rico. And he was also a winger with and a 10 with OCB. I and I'm biased here when I say this because have seen the kid. And
Right.
unfortunately, a lot of Orlando City fans have not been able to see this guy.
But can he
Eh,
play the wing, the right wing?
Yes, yes, with Puerto Rico,
Okay,
he
so
did, and with OCB.
let's just go with your gut and just put Rivera there.
Yeah.
So because I would have put underwater, even though he's played the right before.
Okay.
And then at 9 I'll put Pato. Believe it or not, because you need to see how he recouped. Can he handle the pressure? Is he gonna be scoring? Believe it or not, I would hold off on Erkin Kara for now because we know what I'm sure he's gonna score a lot of goals. But you also want to see what Pato is gonna do, right? I
There's
mean,
a there's a question that is important on the comments. Cleon, a center back at midfield though. Who's a center back? Because Dos Santos, he did play center back, and this is the thing, Cleon. Based on the information that we have from the practice and from what we've seen so far, he may not be playing the center back position as a professional like he did in college. I have we have seen him playing the midfield, and as a matter of fact, and unfortunately, Luis, we don't have the interview with Luis Musi where he was talking about Dos Santos, which led me to believe they're really high on the guy. I haven't seen them mention anything about Jack Lynn or Nick Taylor, but that's basically why we put him there, Cleon. Hopefully that answers your question.
right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, to me, I would probably put. I mean, Mendes is in national team duty.
He is.
I would probably put Perea, right?
Yeah.
I will go like this. I will go like this and just put Perea here.
Now, I expect them to probably play different players the first 45 and then other players on the second half. Because if we're going to put Pato there, you have to have Cara. And there's the man, Eddie Cruz. Eddie,
What's up, fellas? How are you?
What's up, man? How you doing?
very good,
Good
brother.
I'm
to
doing
Thank you
meet
for
you.
good.
joining us.
Good, good. I apologize. It's just on my phone. The computer was lagging last time I tried. So,
Well, awesome to
apologize.
have you, brother.
Thank you, man. You got to get a little close up on the mug, but it is what
Yeah,
it
man.
is.
Hey, by the
Yeah,
way, we
man.
are right now we're looking at our possible starting 11 for
Mm,
the February 11th game against Colorado Rapids, and you can see there on the screen. These are our picks for the first 45 minutes.
yeah.
Obviously, it's a preseason game. What do you think about that? Who would you take out of that equation?
No, that's very possible. I mean, it's going to be a heavy rotation. I honestly think you might even see more youth. Like I would probably take out Huan or something, and then Mikey Holiday. That's
Right,
probably pretty much it. Maybe Mauricio. I don't know if he starts. If he does, he won't play too much, you know. But
right.
that's it's a they're all gonna get they're all gonna have to play at some point. So it's just a matter of conjecture. And good being with you guys. Thanks for having me on. You guys are doing a great job.
No, thank you, brother. Hey, Cleon is saying Dos Santos is LCB left back slash left back.
Hmm.
This is the controversy that we have. We placed Nathan Dos Santos in the midfield.
Hmm.
I know he was playing
Uh-huh.
in the back in college.
Hmm.
Luis Musi has hinted that that they're gonna really gonna sign this guy that really high on him. Is the only
Hmm.
player from the draft that they are actually talking about,
Hmm.
and but Cleveland leans towards the fact that this guy is basically in the back. He's a defender in the back, not in the midfield. Anything to add
Well,
to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Leon's right. He can a lot of times these center backs who can play the ball, they'll play defensive midfielder. You'll see like a Marquinhos, right? He could play
Mhm.
CDM. Moutinho at one point played midfield and could spotlight as a CDM, etc., or somewhere along the midfield, depending on the formation. But he's used as a left back too. He's not a big guy, even though he looks a little bigger this training camp, right? He's putting on
Yeah,
some
yeah,
weight. Dos
right,
Santos is not a big guy. In college, he wasn't winning physical battles. He likes to read the game, keep it in front, and he can make some tackles. But they played almost like how we play our center backs, where they're well spaced out. The fullbacks are pretty high, and he had a lot of responsibility, like Jansen, to be on the ball. And so, point is, he's good on the ball. So I think they value that in center backs, and they value that for the fullbacks.
Right.
I think they like the versatility. I think we might see formation changes or at
Hmm.
least some flexibility. And I think that's they've shown they value people who can play multiple positions all the time. Puig Perea versus Mauricio versus whether it's Facundo versus Pato versus Nani. All of these guys can play different positions, and that's something that they value. So I think I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be a left back
Well,
or if
personally,
he's going to be a center back.
personally,
Center back.
yeah,
Hmm.
personally, I think we have a lot of depth in the mid. Believe it or not, I don't see
Yeah,
him
exactly.
playing. I don't see him playing as a defensive midfielder. I mean, there's so much depth there now. People in the chat were saying, "Oh, well, why we have so many, defensive midfielders?" When the past 2 seasons we've turned over the ball, one of the most teams that's turned over the ball in the Eastern Conference. And then, when it comes to left back, you see Smith, you see you know, also
Continue.
Moutinho, and then Moutinho's injuries. I mean, it kind of makes sense why you would put
Hmm.
a center back that played in college, play him on as a left back. It has
Hmm.
happened. It happens in Peru all the time in the national team. Typically, you have Callens from NYCFC playing a center back, and now you have Marcos Lopez from the Quakes playing the left back there. But then if he gets injured and the other two left backs are pretty bad,
Hmm.
uh, the coach is just putting one of the center backs as a left back. So it just kind of, in a way, it's not your ideal, because in the attack you may lose some speed trying to
Hmm.
go in transition, trying to connect with the winger, with the left winger. You kind of lose a little bit of thread. But defensively, I mean, you'll have an opponent, a center back position. He definitely knows how to take care of the ball, how to recoup the ball, how to play with intensity right in the back. So I think it's a no brainer. So I could definitely agree with that for sure.
I agree with that, Luis, and we have a lack of depth, and it's a center back position. Williams
Yeah,
is still unproven. We don't know what to make of him. They still haven't, the Kemba Guadalupe thing is still a thing,
yeah,
and
it's
and
still
yeah, and Smith is when we play Smith at left back, we're already surrendering offense anyways.
right.
So when you're having Dos Santos at left back, it's going to be at least he's left footed. Where Smith is fairly one footed, and
Yeah.
he's not gonna overlap a ton or anything like that. They don't ask him to, and Oscar and Dallas ran a system where one fullback, where the right fullback, would be the one that would go up, one or the other, not both all the time. So he's done that before, and we saw the same with Kamal Williams. I mean Kamal Miller here.
Yeah,
Kamal
yeah,
Miller.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Camilo
and
Miller was another left center back designed for a three at the back like Dos Santos, or is probably his best position, and he played left back for us for most of the year actually.
Hmm. A lot of people have
sure.
said that Kara's not up front on the first 45.
Well, I mean, I
That
mean, we could definitely put Kara there. I mean, for sure. But I'm just saying, we need to see what Pato's gonna do, right? I mean, you know that you're gonna see Kara and then Tesho. Now again, I mean, I don't want to
Yeah,
be
you
a
don't want to get on that.
doubter. I mean, I don't want to be a doubter, but I mean, he needs, in my opinion, I would like him to start these preseason games, at least a couple, because we know that Kara last season scored 14 goals, had
Oh,
like 7 assists, and Pato, honestly, he's a great, phenomenal player. Historic, has won everything a soccer player wants to win, but he needs to, gain the fandom a little bit and score some goals. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to see what he can do as a center forward, because he
absolutely.
he started playing his career as a wing. I
mm,
mean, that's what he played in Milan, and then eventually, because of injuries, he transitioned to a center forward. He transitioned to a center forward because he had to, because you don't play at the same intensity, when you play the wing, than when you play up front. When you play up front, you're kind of, you know recouping the ball, pivoting, going into the attack, and one v1 with a keeper goal, right? And then when it comes to the wingers, they have to actually create attacking plays, and
and track back.
and track back, and that traction going back and forth for a player that has had several injuries in his career, unfortunately, it 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 it, it passes you by, and it makes you think, "Oh, shoot, I have to play a different position." So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see what he can do, because I have faith in him. I mean, I think he's a standout person, and I think he can definitely. I think he can definitely score some goals, and I think he's been wanting. I think he's been one of the people that's been definitely busting his ass at practice, and he's made a lot of connections with Erkan and with Van der Water. He's made, actually, they've been playing together, doing
Yeah,
plays and things like that. So I
and
think
I have to say, Kata has really like gel with the club, man. He just got here. You see the guy putting his arms around each other, and it seems like again we get that feel good story with our team. In years past, we had clicks and a lot of animosity, but this guy is like it's like they known each other for years. So I really like that as a fan, because when you have that type of dynamic, the Orlando Jago that we had the past 2 years, we
Mhm.
gotta really gonna need that when the going gets tough. So
Yeah, and last year Bata was a preseason killed in the preseason.
right.
Remember,
he sure
so
did,
it's not
yeah.
like he didn't do well in the preseason last year. He was very excited considering how he played. So look, it could be possible. Pato's a guy like you said, Luis, who hasn't been a traditional center forward. I think when he plays center forward, he's going to be more a false nine, anyways. Drop back. I think if you look at what they've been saying about Urchinkara, that he's a guy you could play off of. You could have someone for Mauricio to play off of and hold the ball up and have his back. They want Urchinkara to drop back a little bit too. I think that's something that they're trying to implement or want from their strikers this year, and so that lends itself to even playing two strikers. Having Pato and Cara at times together, depending on the opponent, and
Yeah, yeah,
creates a
that'd be great.
mismatch. And I think Pato would be excel in that role, and having a target man type or bigger body like Urchinkara, that could really be a potent duel, and that you could put Fagundo on one side and Mauricio's played wide
Yeah.
before,
I
so
mean,
we have options.
I think we have a lot of options now. So I mean, that's one thing that, as a fan, as a journalist that covers the team, honestly, it makes you very excited, because you're gonna see, and then you have a coach like Pareja, right? And he's definitely gonna. I mean, you can see already how he's motivating the players, and being in preseason and things like that. So I think it's quite exciting. I know it's not like a Neymar or a Messi or Ronaldo, but people. I mean, I know Nani right now. It's in yachts in Venezia. Scoring goals there, living life. That's post Nani era now. I think we're gonna be. I think we're gonna be fine. We're in good hands. We're in good hands. Let's switch a little bit of the subjects here. Not so much Orlando City. Just before we finish the show. U.S. men's national team. What happened? Can
Oof.
they
Let
beat
me-
Honduras? And the crazy part, and then I'll give the mic to Dave, and then to Eddie. These two right here, this is the picture that I honestly was looking for. I mean, this right here, believe it or not, this should put an Orlando City logo right here,
Mhm.
right? And whether you may like them or not, they were part of the homegrown experience of Orlando, and now look at them where they're doing in their national team. I mean, a rocky start from Larin in Besiktas, rocky start, but then now he's a starter nine there. He's uh he's scoring goals. Canada's unbeaten. A great team, and then Richie Larea surprised everybody. David, what are your thoughts
no,
of this
absolutely.
2-0 win?
First of all,
2-0.
absolutely. First of all, congratulate the Canadians and their team. They Football is ugly sometimes, and they just went and they pounded. They were at home. They told the Americans, make sure that you turn the lights off and take out the garbage on your way out. and that's what it takes, man. You know, if this would have been a game against Mexico, people would have been like, well, it was Mexico, they got us this time, but because it's Canada, now people are licking their wounds and they're angry. The reality for Canada is, well, 10 years ago, they were getting the crap beat out of by small islands. They stay the course. They send their players to the NCAA circuit. They did MLS. They send their best players to Europe, and these are the payoff. When it comes to Orlando City, I know the situation with Kyle Aaron wasn't the best, how he ended. I think there's a lot of blame to go around for the front office, for the player himself. Player himself took very bad decisions surrounding himself with very problematic people and listened to really bad advice. But again, you know, in my early 20s, I made very bad mistakes. You know, I ended up getting divorced. I ended up doing a lot of different things. The difference between me and Kyle Aaron is Kyle Aaron's mistakes are super public, and he has a million people commenting on what he should do and not do. But I think maybe one day the team and himself can come to an agreement that they're part of each other's history, and you know that we can celebrate him as being part of somebody that put a brick on the wall for Orlando City without having to look at him as a problematic individual. After all, he remains the highest scoring player in Orlando City history for MLS or USL. The same can be said about Richie Larea. Richie Larea, fantastic individual, very great person. His wife is from Orlando. His kid was born here. We all know the famous story that JOC told him that he wasn't an MLS caliber player. He went on to go to Toronto, uh, got into an MLS final. Right now, he is with Nottingham Forest in the championship. Certainly a step above MLS. So, and Kamal Miller, who we lost to no
Right.
fault of our
Kamal
own.
Miller. Three
Yeah,
Lions,
so
actually.
we have to be
Right.
proud. I am proud that these guys wore our colors at one point. You know, we didn't have the proper management, perhaps. You know, JOC and Christ, we can be here a whole night talking about how they were not good for Orlando. But again, the United States has to close the deal against Honduras in St. Paul. I believe is gonna be the game, and it's coming up later on this week, and they have to close the deal. If not, us that bought those tickets for U.S. versus Panama, we may be going to the game of the century for the United States national team because we may be playing for our lives at that point. I am sad to say that it has to come down to this. Eddie.
Eddie, when it comes to the game itself, not so much, you know, I mean, what are your thoughts? This Canadian team from minute one, just pretty much decimated the United States team in a lot of levels. And I will talk about the U.S. players in a little bit, but I think this Canadian team deserves definitely a lot of praise. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I admit I didn't catch the entirety of the game, but what I can tell you is that this Canadian team is not scared of the U.S. talent pool. The U.S. is very methodical in how they build up at times. I think they play better when more direct. But Berhalter seems to be wanting to implement a system, and in my opinion, when you have an international team, you have a limited time. You don't need to implement specific system. You need to just work with your players and get the best out of them. Canada does that. They have a lot of speed. They have a lot of pace. They have a lot of energy and stamina, and they just went after US. And then the counter, they knew they couldn't catch up with them on counterattacks, and they got two clinical finishers. You know, Tejan's in Europe now. Marc-Andre Kay is one of the better midfielders in the
Yeah.
league. Richie Larea is in Europe now, and Jonathan David's more informed than any U.S. player right now. So for maybe Aronson, right? I mean, Jonathan Davis doing more. Yeah, okay, it's not in the Premier League, but he's had a better year than Pulisic or Reina and other people.
That
Jonathan David had a fantastic goal. Laren, that was a great finish, something he's always been good at. Tajon's trajectory is up, etc. So they knew they're playing almost out of what they say in Spanish, like out of memory.
yeah.
They seem to be cohesive and quick. Or US is like kind of deliberate. It's almost like what are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to be? The only one who's kind of playing free, and it almost seems like it doesn't fit, is McKinney. McKinney's out there. If everyone matched his energy, I think, then it would be helpful. But he doesn't seem like he plays within the shape that Greg wants, etc. And then with the strikers, with Ferreira and Zardes, I mean, neither one of those is worth being scared about. You have Jonathan David and Kyle Laren. You're worried about these guys. Even Pepe's not at their level. DK either. So it's the Canada has nothing to fear when it comes to the U.S. and they were just more they were better coached, I thought, and better prepared, and they're these are kids who've been playing together for a long time too. Their pool isn't as deep, but Richie and Kyle known each other for years, and Mark Anthony Kay and all these guys come from similar areas and known each other for a long time and played together for a long time, and the familiarity is coming through. Greg is rotating a lot and changing this and that, and the U.S. does not look like a cohesive team. And yeah, Honduras is eliminated, but so what? Trinidad and Tobago was too, and they knocked us out. And Honduras is a team that has pride, energy. Nothing. I'm sorry for me to say this, but a consolation prize knocking the Gringos out is a good consolation prize to the Honduran team. It's to the Honduran team. So if anyone's taking that lightly, they are dumb. And Panama's improving, man. U.S. better beat Honduras, or I think the likelihood of paying is a real possibility.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. I'm going to read the words from Greg Berhalter. It says, "This game, I can single anyone out. It was an entire team effort that was dominant. It's hard for me to remember a performance away from home this dominant that wasn't getting a result." I honestly don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know what he
I
was
mean,
watching.
These are the coaches where they care about philosophy over winning. What he thought he wanted to implement, they did, and they lost. So the Canadian guy was like, you've seen coaches talk about this when Mourinho will talk about you could have all the ball and perception of control, but the team who sometimes sits back and counters, they're actually in control because they're letting you do that stuff, knowing they could counter. So they let them do sideways passing till they got tired, and then just snatched it and then cut their throat, and that was it.
When it comes to the U.S. men's national team, I saw a team that was just underperforming in a lot of lines. I think McKennie and Adams were some of the best. Pulisic also trying to make some plays, but then when you have like freaking 10 corners and you cannot even score one goal, to me that's incredible.
Well,
And
kudos to the goalkeeping of Canada. That
of
was
course,
fantastic.
yeah, he was phenomenal. He plays in Prague. I think in Prague he plays. He's the keeper there. Um, and honestly, they're more cohesive, just like Eddie said. U.S. was looking like Yassi Sardes. I don't know if he played the game or not.
He should be done. I don't
Brendan
want him again.
Brendan Aronson, he turned over the ball more than any other player I've ever seen. He had some dashes of greatness, but it was sad to see. And the back line, the two, I mean, usually Robinson, he's pretty good, and you've seen him, but it was not his night. It was definitely not his night. Same with Richards and Serginho Dest. And this is the thing, the U.S. has a lot of depth, but Serginho Dest is not in a good place in Barcelona. He's not in a good place. You don't call him up to play at qualifiers. I mean, don't call him. I mean, I know it's Serginho Dest, just but you have to put the player, in my opinion, that is in the best momentum possible. Because believe it or not, I mean, and again, I don't wanna. I mean, the level of Concacaf is subpar. Like these teams like Guatemala, Honduras, they are subpar. I mean, you look at the names here. There's a Chelsea number 10. There's a player in Juventus. There's a player in RB Leipzig. There's a player in Barcelona. You have the keeper from Arsenal. So you have to understand to me Berhalter should have not started Sardes. He should have maybe changed his formation to something. I didn't see. I see that he was expecting individuality from the players. So for them to shine by itself, and then the goals will come, and then no tactics at all. Just wait for things to happen on its own. And unfortunately, in when you're playing against a team so cohesive, and you can see like Canada, it's impossible. I mean, collective game is going to beat individuality when it comes to the sport right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have not seen a team that can just by the players alone can win games aside maybe Manchester City,
Mm-hmm.
PSG, and maybe I don't know Brazil from 1994, which
But
they had.
concerning, guys, is the fact that when we go to if we make it to the World Cup, we're not playing against Canada. We're playing
Right.
against better teams than that. So what's the end game? Make the World Cup and end up like in '98 where we score 0 goals and we lost every single one of the games. Because if we're gonna go just like in that meme of Grandpa Simpson walking in, putting his hat, walking around, grabbing his hat, and go. Then my friends, I don't want to do. I don't want to go there if that's what's gonna happen. Because saying I was at the party, but I wasn't dancing with anybody. I was just holding the wall.
Mhm.
It's not the same as hey, I went, I had a great time. I want
Mhm.
our nation to be represented by 11 men that go on that pitch and they feel the weight of the jersey on them, and unfortunately, we got cocky in a way, and in I work fixing medical equipment, and among engineers, there's always this saying, tongue in cheek, that the high technology in the hands of idiots is useless. And basically here you have all these players playing in all these European leagues and this, that, and the other, but unfortunately, if the manager is not going to implement tactics that are going to impose our will on the opponent, and it's gonna end up happening is you got a bunch of talented players being left to pick up the trash, like if you would have seen the admin for Canada, he just
Right.
told us this is our house,
Because because I feel Berhalter, believe it or not. I mean, when he says things like that, I think he's putting a lot of the spotlight on the players, and he's the face of the team. He should be
Mhm.
the leader of the team.
He's the captain
He should
for sure.
Berhalter should come out and say, you know what, the players that gave their all, but this is my doing.
Yeah.
Um, this is not going to happen again. Because I'm telling you, the perception outside of the United States of this team, and I'm telling you because I cover other leagues and other countries, is that this team right here should have been a top, at least winning every single game, because they're in a level, individuality speaking, by each player, Team Wea, Pulisic, even Aronson, Adams, McKennie, a lot of the players like miles ahead than a Panama, than a Honduras, than a Costa Rica, than even a
But
Mexico now, in my opinion. So the perception out there is, why is this team so it makes sense, the MLS, right? Because they're also representing the league here.
Hmm.
When the MLS, oh, of course, how look at the MLS. That's a perception. Oh, they lost against Canada. Come on, man. You know what I mean? They lost against Trinidad and Tobago. Come on, man. What do they play with there? So that's a perception outside the United
yeah.
States,
Well, Luis, if I could comment on that,
unfortunately.
the perception that losing to Canada is nothing to be ashamed of. Canada would a lot of the people who have that perception, Canada will probably beat their team. Canada's good. And I think they're going to make some noise. I don't think they're. I think if you going into that game, we were the underdogs, completely. So I don't think that's just old thinking to say Canada's bad. They're not bad. And then just because they have a bunch of players in Europe, because that's the measurement of all South American, Central American, whatever Latin football. Oh, they're in Europe, they must be good. how many times has some team from South America or Central America exceeded expectations because they play like a unit, they play with pride, they play together, and they weren't chock full of European stars? How many Brazilian teams that were stacked fell flat? Mexico can't get past the round of 16
That's right.
every single World Cup. How about Holland, who didn't qualify? How about Italy? Did they have players in big leagues? But
That's
it's
right.
not just having players in big leagues, it's having players who know how to play together, having a coach they believe in, and a system that brings out the strength. So anyone who has that perception, that's just laziness, in my
Right.
opinion. Well, they
Right.
got good European players. There's more to it than that. The right angle, in my opinion, should be they have the pieces. Why aren't they making this work?
Exactly.
That's the right angle. Not just because it's they're Europe, but like why can't they make them beat? Why can't they make them play cohesively? That's correct. That's the correct
Right.
spin on it, in my opinion.
I agree with you 100%. I'm just saying that's what I get from you know what I mean. That's the
Yeah.
feedback I
Oh
get
yeah.
from colleagues from other countries, and they
Yeah.
tell me why is and believe it or not because everybody says this team has the potential to at least make it to a quarterfinal in a World Cup.
Yeah. I don't think
They
so.
do. They do. I mean, they're young, and they're gonna just progress and progress and progress and go further. But I'm just saying you know, it's not Canada because Canada was a great team. But I'm just saying, let's say Honduras, right?
Mm,
Honduras. I mean, they're gonna play in the United States, right? So I'm
mm,
assuming that the people are gonna support 100%, right? And they should. And I think personally, the way they can essentially change people's minds. I will hate to see the U.S. in playing for a playoff in the qualifiers. Personally,
mm.
I honestly I think the team is in a higher level, in my opinion, to play for fourth. I would hate to see that. And if that's the fact, if that's going to be the case, I would say, sorry, Berhalter, but let's look at other options here because I mean you have a lot of good talent, and there's also talent that it's not even in this team playing in the MLS as well, right?
Mhm.
So I agree with you on that. I just think it's a very minded way of thinking in a way.
Mm.
But that's what I get, when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see that, right? And it
You get the
sucks, believe it or not.
same people poop on MLS, because
Right.
they watched it in 1998 or when Rafa
Exactly.
Marquez
Right.
was mauling people, and not caring. That's I'm tired of all that stuff, to be honest. But the U.S.
Yeah.
is definitely underachieving. I don't think they're a quarterfinal team. I'm too broken from the past to believe and that they get that far. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be in this pick, tough of a situation. They put
Mhm.
themselves in it, and they're. I mean, they should be fine, but they
Yeah,
don't
the
beat
good thing is
Honduras.
that the good thing is that Mexico and Costa Rica tied, and so now if the U.S. wins, beats Honduras, which I think that's what's going to happen,
Mm,
I think things are going to level. I think the U.S. is going to stay where they at right now, and then
mm,
just go from there. They, win every other game after that, and
mm.
Team Weah will probably be back. Maybe Daryl will be back also in shape at that point. So I mean, we'll see, but I think for sure, Honduras definitely is an attainable target in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. If they don't beat Honduras, that's a problem.
Yeah,
And Honduras is gonna bite you on corner kicks. They're
right.
gonna they're gonna step on you. This is gonna be CONCACAF like on steroids.
Yeah,
Honduras has
they
got
play
nothing.
against
They got
Colombia.
nothing to lose.
They play
Yeah,
against Colombia, right? And they give Colombia some run for their money, right? And
Yeah.
Panama play with Peru. Actually, they play with the B team, and Peru beat them. But you saw some strands and some highlights within the first and second half that they're a very physical team. They like to high press at high intensity. But then after 35 minutes onwards, they get tired. And I mean that's what happened in the Peru game. They get tired, and then the midfield loses the ball, and then that's when the other team goes in the turnover and attacks, and then that's how Peru scored their goals in the end. Is by the mid got tired and they were just losing the balls, turnovering the balls too much. Um, I would like to think that the U.S. is going to get to Exploria already more comfortable, just like
Hmm.
Dave said. So let's hope for that.
No, absolutely. And we are, I guess, reaching the end. Uh, so I have to bring some uh, information here. This is exclusive of Loud and Proud Orlando. This is from Facundo Torres. He will actually be leaving Uruguay Thursday the 3rd at 5 o'clock. That probably means that he'll be getting here late Friday evening, morning. So if you feel like hanging out at the airport at 1 o'clock in the morning, well, are more than welcome to join me. We will
Mm.
have his flight information tomorrow night, most likely. And so if you want to join me at the airport, you don't have anything else going on in your life, and
Yeah,
you don't feel like
yeah.
getting your own.
Or
You're gonna bring a sleeping bag in your tent.
Yeah,
yeah,
brother.
yeah.
I intend
Or
to
you
be
want to
there.
make up for the, or you want to make up for the last time you went to the airport because that didn't work out.
Right, exactly. If you feel like doing that, we are going to be sharing the information. Um, I know they don't like me, but I reach out to the supporter groups online. I say, hey, if I get the information, I would like for us to get something together to welcome him to Orlando. So we'll see. But if you're watching or you're watching later on, please pass the word that if we get that information, we are definitely going to be sharing it. That way, we can welcome uh, probably one of the most incredible players that has ever worn our jersey. And also important information about OCB. As far as attending OCB games at Osceola Heritage Park, we have not been told uh, any information about selling tickets or matches. This is per the new league, MLS Next. So be on the lookout for that. OCB will kick off in less than 2 months' time. This is per Austin David, our friend Austin David. And lastly, the OCB roster will be up to 35 players, including 24 pro players and up to 11 amateur players, all of whom are eligible for selection on game days. Each club will begin with 7 international roster spots, an asset that they may trade between teams. So that's for all you guys that have been talking about or in the expectation of OCB. I see Jesus Gamundi. Any rumors on Jesus Angulo? It's
Yeah,
a done deal. It's
it
not
was
coming.
smoke,
It's
smoke.
smoke. That's it. Sorry, my friend. I was looking
Yeah,
forward to that.
Yeah, I want to say something about OCB. They expect it to be just really young players. Everyone's like all the players they cut, they're going to bring back. It's going to be mostly just really young players. They're going to give shot to. It's not.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect a lot of results from them, but it'll be some young players
I just want to
getting
see some fun
minutes.
games.
Hmm.
So, hey Eddie, before we go, because obviously we did not get a chance to introduce you. You just popped out. I would like for you
Yeah,
to
sorry
introduce
guys.
yourself to the audience,
Mhm.
throw out your social media, your podcasts, and I have to say I am in eternal debt to Orlando Lions Den because you guys gave me a shot that has turned out to be a curse for a lot of people because they get to hear me in two podcasts and a vlog
That's
now. But anyways, go ahead, Eddie.
No, hey, yeah, well, thanks again for having me on. I like what you guys are doing. Keep it up. The more content the fans get, the better. There's all kinds of voices and perspectives out there, and no one's is so better than others, but then no one should be quiet either, in my opinion. People should, if you feel like having a outlet to talk, then talk. If people listen, then
right.
that's the verdict, right? If people tune in, that's the verdict. Let people decide that. And so that's why we've had other people on, right, David? Just we feel like no one at the Orlando Lions Den, we're not something special. We're just fans like everyone else. So why won't we let other fans on too, right? That was the
That's right.
ideal of it. So when we started Orlando Lions Den, JJ and I, that was the idea. So thanks for supporting that. And you got you at Orlando Lions Den. I'm at Eddie the Commission. I'm here just to have good conversations about the team and support, and hold each other accountable, but find ways to come together as a fan group and a community, and let's get over some of the nonsense in the past, and then just focus on supporting the club and winning. Supporting the club as best we can, and as united as possible. And all the stuff we look at the stuff we've been complaining about, they're not spending. They spent. So
That's
let's
right.
just
I
you got to
mean,
give them credit.
that's
Yeah, if they say
Yeah,
we're not
absolutely.
supporting because you're not spending, then they spent. So let's support, and there's still things they got to work on: fan engagement, experience, and all that stuff. But they seem like they're listening, and it's just we hold them accountable to it and move forward. And the way we do that is by being unified. So let's stay unified, give people, let's show some grace to each other, and because we all love this, just like family, you should give your family a little grace. We're all supporters of the same club, so let's give each other a little grace, show some love, and vamos Orlando.
Amen.
all right, Eddie. Thank you so much for being
You guys,
at the show, man. Appreciate it.
you got take care, guys.
Take care. All right, my friend. So I want to thank. We're still 20 people solid. So thank you so much to
Oh,
everybody.
wow.
Yeah, from the beginning to the end. So
Thank you,
thank
guys.
you, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Keep. We're at LPO Podcast on Twitter. We're also on Facebook as Loud and Proud Orlando. On YouTube, you subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell so you can get all the notifications. We're also in audio form. This episode will be in audio form. If you're listening to us in the audio form, if you missed the show, we're going to be there in audio form on Spotify and Apple Podcast as well. I want to thank Orlando City Communications for the footage, for some of the pictures and stuff like that. Jackie, Rob, everybody there, Hannah, everybody. Thank you so much. Um, Also, if you would like to, Loud and Proud Orlando started as a project, and I'm just gonna after that we're gonna close. Started as a project just to be a show, 1 day a week, 8:30. Just like wrestling, right? Saturdays at 6:30. There was old time wrestling. LPO was gonna be like that, but now we're expanding, and I would like to maybe bring in some people over. Maybe if you are a freelance photographer and you want to be able to, take some pictures for Orlando Pride, OCB, maybe Orlando City. Contact me on my Instagram or my Twitter. Here's my handle at Pineda_ORL. If you are a freelance writer and you want to be able to get your portfolio going and you want to write about the team and you want to maybe go to the games of the press box with me, we're going to be covering OCB, Orlando Pride, Orlando City. Contact me as well. My email right there at Pineda_ORL. We're gonna make this Loud and Proud grow a little bit more. We're gonna get a website going, maybe a WordPress website. I'm gonna see. I'm right now doing all of that behind the scenes, but we're gonna offer you the best content possible to represent the city of Orlando and represent Orlando City in a high manner, and Orlando Pride and OCB, because again, we love this city and we love the
Absolutely.
team, and so we're gonna do our utmost to do
And
so. Go ahead, Dave.
no, no. Before we go, we would like to let everybody know if you have questions, show topic ideas, anything. Please
Yeah.
tweet us. You see there at the bottom of the screen our Twitter handle. The show's for you guys. It's not for us to like pretend that we know everything. Please, get in contact with us. Also, we want to do something. An idea that I was toying with is throughout the week I'll be saving what I consider is the funniest, quirkiest tweet of Orlando City or OC Twitter. So we're gonna be showcasing that. So please get your thumbs out there. And before we go, I would like to plug in my vlog, The Legendary David. Obviously, these events that we're gonna be having, I'm gonna be covering that in my vlog, giving my opinions and all that. And Tiro de Esquina podcast in Spanish. If you know of anybody that would like to enjoy that content, please. I think this week I have two great conversations plus an episode that I'm very proud of. And if you know of somebody that would like to consume in Spanish, there it is.
Yeah, well, thank you to everybody, to Edward, Washington, Victor, Jesus Gamundi, everybody, Cleon, Tolan, Coca, Thomas, everybody that commented, and Joshua, Jim D, um, everybody. Thank you so much for your support. Keep supporting the show. The more we grow, I think the better content we're gonna do. And this is, like I said, for the City Beautiful, right? This is what it says in our bio too, for the City Beautiful, not
One
just
last
Orlando
question.
City.
One
Go
last
ahead.
question there. Eddie G, guys, do you feel Eric Kara is going to be the starting striker? Absolutely. You don't pay that much
Yeah,
money for,
sure,
yeah.
sure. He's gonna be the starting striker for sure. I think he should. 14 goals in the Austrian Bundesliga. It's
His highlight
it's
reel. Oof.
yeah, for sure. Definitely 100%. But thank you guys for your support, and then we'll see you guys next Monday at 8:30, like always. And vamos Orlando.
Vamos, Orlando.
Let's go.